Hello and welcome to the video. Welcome to today's video. We are playing Prehistoric Kingdom here, and I'm going to guys to show you how to create a swamp for a herbivore exhibit. Great ways to do that, and also great ways to not use shelters as well. And to show you guys how to build a good waterfall, so that way then you guys can get better at creating your own parks. By the way, again, please leave name, comments, and suggestions for these creatures that we're putting in our park. We still don't got names for any of them, so you guys can interact with the series. Please leave comments on what you guys want these dinosaurs to be called. Let's get started here by sinking down the terrain so that way then there's a natural barrier in between the dinosaurs and the guests. To give it more realism than some of our other enclosures do have, and to explain it, water caused the terrain to over time sink. And we're just gonna have a swampy area filled with lots of water. We're gonna have a waterfall going into it around this area. We want it to be close to that area, of course, as to lead in guests, so that there's something there besides nothing. And we're gonna have that continue in like a small little path. Probably put a river through this area to connect it to the rest of the enclosure, with the waterfall being on the other side. And then most of the dinosaurs in the living space for those said beasts is going to be in this area. So yeah, hope you guys are excited. And we're just going to level a little bit more of this. In a second, we're going to go into a montage. So then you guys don't have to see the entire process of this boringness. So now that we're done overall getting the water and sinking down this enclosure, let's go ahead and start creating this waterfall. To do that, we're going to of course use the waterfall VFX item here in the creative inventory that we have. Let's just layer a bunch of that in around here. This is going to be the top of the waterfall. Of course, we're going to want this to come down slightly. Had some errors there. But yeah, just layer this below that so that it continues on longer. And of course, we're going to also put rocks around that. This is just the beginning stage of it. Okay. I figured it would have highlighted it, but hey, it worked to delete it, and now let's just do. Don't want to rise it. For the water splash shut. Still not quite used to the controls perfectly. We want it lowered. Yeah, we have to alter it. Just, again, like dot this around the waterfall. Of course, when it sorry, not spray out. Although it works either way. So yeah, and now let's go ahead and add some rocks in to make this look more natural and fit in better, and not save it as a favorite because rocks aren't my favorite in this game. So they're great. I just don't like using rocks. It's as simple as that. I like the foliage brushes so much more. And not that the rock tool is bad. I just simply am not a rock person for whatever reason in this game. Even though they have brilliant rocks, and I mean brilliant when I say brilliant. Like they're just. Yeah, just put some rocks around the bottom of it, so that way then it looks like it makes more sense how it splays out more. Let's again, yeah, put that in the middle there. Just make it look unique and neat and all that kind of stuff. Have it overlap with the actual waterfall to give it some size, some character to this structure. This game, though, has such great adjustment tools, it's not even funny. It's just, I'm being quite honest, incredible how well it works, all of that. In my opinion, this is my favorite video game. As much as I like Jurassic Revolution 2 and several other video games of different genres, yeah, this is by far, in my opinion, the best, and definitely the best in its genre. Because even though it takes a while to make great exhibits, they look so good, and the dinosaurs are also incredibly good looking. I mean, Jurassic Revolution 2 could take some hints in terms of the quality of the game. There is some qualities of Jurassic Revolution 2, and of course, it also has a really great campaign mode, and for those who like challenge mode, it's also awesome as well. But I personally prefer this game's sandbox. So yeah, that's how you design a waterfall. Put some rocks around it, and then just overall use the VFX, splash, and waterfall tools. And also enlarging the size so that way it works the best. And now let's change the soil terrain in this exhibit. So now that we've done most, if not all, the foliage, alongside changing the ground texture, let's just go through here, look at it, see if there's anything in particular I want to change, do differently. So yeah, and to make a good swamp area, just use base type of trees. I personally either like the swamp trees or the type of trees I use here today, alongside some slow to the ground swamp plants as well. And now, let's create a shelter here. So in order to do that, let's first do the feeders. So, while I explain, in order to do this, we'll just put the shelters beneath the trees. In other words, the tree is the shelter. Even though some rain can seep through it, it's a more natural looking thing and thus is less obstructive to your exhibit. You don't have to design a shelter or use a custom made shelter. Instead, what you can just do is simply put down some of the straw bedding there for creatures to lay down on beneath a lot of trees. It works simple and it's effective while being subtle and very little of it being noticed, as well as giving a different texture to that green grass that we see. As a matter of fact, we might even add maybe one or two termite mounds in this very aquatic area. Or 4 works, you know. Yeah. Might as well do 4. So yeah. Let's now find good, nice, large areas that it's not going to stick out from the trees. And overall it's going to give a lot of shade, as well as make sure it's not sticking out. But yeah. Do that sort of thing with the large straw beds. And overall, for one, changes up the texture. And yeah, works well too. So now that we finished up adding all the straw beds, let's go ahead and incubate our dinosaurs here to put in this enclosure. Let's start off by adding a sauropod, and today we're going to add Camarasaurus. Not something that's super large, but still a very large herbivore. As much as I prefer something that's a little bit closer to human size, I'm thinking we might just go with Camarasaurus supremus, since it has, in my opinion, definitely the best skin. Let's just incubate 5 of those. And then let's get 6 or so Parasaurolophus. I think we might actually go for the smallest one here and do this small little thing that sticks out of their head. I'll put it up on screen for you guys to see. So yeah, just put 6 of those in, and then we're gonna add 2 more species, one other medium-sized herbivore, and then a small herbivore of sorts. I'm thinking maybe a Dryosaurus variation. Even though we already have Dryosaurus in our park, instead we're gonna do the non-feathered Dryosaurus, since this is a hotter seeming exhibit, with it being a swamp. I will say, looking at, I don't think these are my favorite of the Parasaurolophuses. Probably, in my opinion, the worst looking, but just kind of wanted something a little bit more on the smaller side to give even more variation from the Camarasaurus. And also, we'll probably add in the larger Parasaurolophus later on in the park. So let's see, Styracosaurus or Nasutoceratops. Let's go Styracosaurus. And as much as the psychedelic skin looks cool, it's green. And we already got a really green dinosaur. So, which of these other two are we going to do? Let's go with this one to give that red texture to it. This exhibit. Using that. And you know what? Let's go ahead and or we could, let's do Drysaurus. And which of these two Drysauruses are we going to do? Let's do the one that has a much tamer brown coloration. And let's add 8 of these guys. And that should work out well. Or, 10. That works too. So yeah. Let's place these bad boys down. And, okay. Why are Drysaurus split up? I don't know. I did not do that in that order. But hey, it doesn't matter. So yeah, let's just go ahead and look at these dinosaurs. See how they look in this enclosure. Overall, just check out the exhibit that we've created. And again, by the way, so I can keep creating. You keep have to going, Nigel. You just have to keep going, don't you? However, so I can keep creating videos and all this stuff, keep me motivated to keep giving you guys content and show you guys how you guys can improve your parks in Prehistoric Kingdom and Jurassic World Evolution 2. Click that subscribe button and also like this video. And if you know anyone who you think might like or enjoy this content, these video games, then you want share it to them as well. And again, thank you all for watching. And thank you all for getting to listen and putting up for Nigel Marvin. Yeah, he's a pain. But hey, it is what it is. Why do you have to keep interrupting me, Nigel? We've talked about this. Remember, you're not the only one who's here.
We haven't really put the theory to the test.
Frustrating, isn't it?
Now that
Nigel, come on, man. We talked about this. We talked about this.
Used their crest for long-distance communication. The crests are made out of bone riddled with hollow tubes,
I hope you guys have enjoyed and enjoyed watching Nigel, because he clearly thinks this is his show. It's a dinosaur show, guys. We all know that.